What's up, y'all? It's your boy TIX, man. It's been a long time, man. It's been about 5 years, man, since I touched YouTube. And yeah, man. I just hope y'all guys miss me, and I think I'm gonna really start getting back into this. So yeah, man. But by the title of the video, we're doing what if Naruto had Ki, and yeah, just let me know if y'all like this, man. For the next part, just hit 20 likes. I'm not expecting too much. This is first video back, so hey, we just hopefully we can keep on grinding. I hope y'all still support me, and yeah, hope y'all enjoy the video. So this video start off with it being Naruto's 10th birthday, man. He's running away from villagers. They have poor snipes throwing in at him. He's going ducking through alleyways. He's jumping through fences. He's just trying to survive at this point, man. So eventually he jumps over a gate. This is the force of death. The villagers follow behind him, running. He's running through paths through forest, trying to avoid animals and other creatures that are wandering around. Eventually he gets to a dead end. He gets to a dead end, and eventually they'll catch up to him. So unfortunately they start beating up on him. They start kicking him, beating up on him, just degrading him, doing all types of sick stuff to him. But eventually he's in this guard of, it's like an X, and his palms are out. So eventually he has enough. He starts getting angry, and a little bit of the Kyuubi's chakra starts coming out, right? So as the Kyuubi's chakra starts to come out, he starts to feel this weird sensation of energy passing through him. This energy honestly was key. So how this will work for him, let me give you some backstory so I don't act weird. So the Kyuubi's chakra, right, it's not directly linked to Ki, but how, in my opinion, how Ki will work for him is that the more physically strong he is, the better his, the stronger his Ki is. Obviously, your power level will go higher. So, as his power level will go higher, since the Kyuubi chakra is amplifying his physical traits, he will let off this tiny Ki blast that will hurt these villagers and incapacitate them, not kill them, but incapacitate them. So as this Ki blast gets launched at them, they get incapacitated. Naruto, having this moment to survive, he runs off, being surprised that he took him out, running back to his house. Now Anbu will eventually show up hours later and find out that Naruto did this, and will go to Naruto's house. So as they go to Naruto's house, the Hokage summons him, and the Hokage asks, why have you done this? He'll ask, why have you done this? And he'll be like, oh, well, I'm just trying to protect myself. They're out to kill me, and this and that. And so the Hokage will understand and be like, okay, I understand. I need to give you more Anbus and all of this, and he'll just understand. So time skip 2 years later, now he's about 13, and he everything goes to canon. He doesn't pass. Mizuki offers him this plan to obviously pass, but how this goes. He's just manipulating the young boy. So he gets the scroll, like everything in canon. He learns the Shadow Clone Jutsu. But here's the thing: when things start to change, is when Aruka gets hurt, and he protects him, and then eventually Naruto gets mad, and he's like, nah, you're not gonna disrespect my sensei, after finding out that he stood up for him. And so eventually Naruto would get mad. He'll spam the shadow clones, right? But he's enraged at this point, because this is a more enraged Naruto from this timeline. So so Naruto would get enraged. A little bit of the Kyuubi's power will leak out, but not like not a noticeable change, like how his eyes get red. That's what will happen. So as he'll get the same rush of a feeling, and another Ki blast will come out, but this one's a lot more powerful. He actually sees the blast, and than having his eyes covered like before. So he actually sees the blast and sees that I have this, unique power. At first he just thought, he got lucky, or it was a fluke. But now he actually sees that he has this power. So as he lets off this blast, and his clones let off this blast, he just, obviously, I ain't even gonna lie, he kills Mizuki in this, because Ki is super strong. So he can't really, survive this. But as he goes back to the, Hokage's office after the Anbu come, he tells the Hokage about this, weird power he has, that it was like some energy ball that he released, and the Hokage would be interested. He wouldn't know if this was chakra, some type of Kekkei Genkai or chakra, but he would he would tweak, he would be interested. Now also I have to give you some context on for the things that are going to change in this timeline. So in this timeline, the year ahead, like Team Guy's team, they would actually be in the in the academy with the rookie 9. Only reason I'm doing this is for the team selections. You will see as we do this. So we go on to the day of the team selections. Aruka is calling out the names, and he is he's saying the names that he wants to choose. So obviously we're gonna skip all the other ones, and we're gonna go to team 7. So for team 7, it will be Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha, and Neji Hyuga. Now you might be thinking, that's kind of crazy. Why not Hinata, or why not Rock Lee? We're gonna we're cooking up something, man. Now for team 8, obviously it's gonna be Shino, it's gonna be Hinata, and it's gonna be Tenten. That's for team 8. For team 9, it's gonna be for team 9, it's gonna be Ino, it's gonna be Shikamaru, and it's gonna be Choji. And then I think for team 10, it's gonna be Naruto, Hinata, and I think, hold on, I'm probably missing somebody, but Rock Lee for team 10. So that's the the team selections for team 10, and they're obviously their sensei is my guy. So yeah. So eventually, since he doesn't have Kakashi, since he doesn't have Kakashi, my guy shows up pretty early, because he's a freak of nature, man. And he tells him, hey, meet me by the roof in 5 minutes. You don't be late. So they come up to the things, and to the roof, and he asks them their questions of their likes and dislikes. And my guy goes first. He's like, guys, I like training, and I like fighting, and I love martial arts and all of this and that. Now as for Hinata, she says, well, I just want to help the Branch family, and help my family just overall have peace. And for Rock Lee, he's just like, I want to become the strongest, and I want to prove that you don't need ninjutsu or genjutsu to become a ninja, and he can become a shinobi with taijutsu. And for Naruto, he says, I want to become the Hokage. I like ramen, and yeah. And my guy tells him, meet me by the training field 27 by tomorrow at 6 a.m. Make sure you eat some food. So obviously we skip into their exam. Obviously we're gonna keep it the bell test. Obviously for Naruto, he's gonna as my guy says begin, Naruto's gonna be standing there trying to act cocky, and try to act like he can beat him. So Naruto rushes in, he throws a kick, and obviously my guy blocks it effortlessly, kicks him, and then Naruto realizes, dang, this guy hits hard. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do this. So eventually he spams the shadow clones, thinking that will help him, but that just doesn't help him at all. My guy pulls out 2 kunais, starts slashing at him using taijutsu, and even hits a leaf hurricane on the main Naruto, doing massive damage, and Naruto's disoriented. It's like, dang, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. And as Hinata's watching this, she's like, Naruto-kun, I can't I can't let this happen. So she starts she activates her Byakugan and starts throwing kunai and starts using her taijutsu. So as she starts using her taijutsu, she tries to hit the 4 palms, the 8 palms, the 12 palms, and it eventually they just all miss. And Rock Lee comes in, obviously being trained by Mike Guy, having the most experience. And he starts throwing kicks and punches at him. Obviously doing the best, but Lee's obviously getting blocked because that was his sensei for a few years, so he was getting countered. But they all start working together. Hinata using her her Hyuga taijutsu, and Naruto using his clones, to obviously help out. But yeah, obviously they lose in this situation, but obviously at the end of the exam he tells them that they all passed since they use teamwork to try to do it. But he also tells them that they got to have a lot of training since their speed and their strength is super weak, and Naruto's taijutsu is just pitiful. So Naruto's not looking forward to that, but he has to do it. But yeah, that's what he had to do. Naruto was taking L's, man. He was getting beat up. But yeah, man, that would be the end of the video, guys. I know it's pretty short. This is just my first video, so if I sound pretty bad and stuff, you just let me know, y'all. But if y'all want part 2, just hit them 20 likes. I hope y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Give me some suggestions down in the comments. And I like y'all, man. Hope y'all do have a good day, man.